So hello, welcome back to another video. Now today I've come out to do some lure fishing for bass. I'm armed with my heavy lure rod today, the Samson Longcast 30 to 100 gram 12-foot lure rod, and I'm going to be throwing some lures. Now we've got a bit of a northerly breeze today. It's actually dropped off quite a bit in the last hour or so. We're having outbreaks of rain, it's quite overcast, but the sun is trying to shine through. Now, all in all, it's pretty good conditions. There's a bit of chop on the water, a bit of colour in the water. There's a little bit of swell coming in here, so I am quite hopeful. I'm going to be starting with a floating surface lure. I've got a new Patchinko to try out, which is the 165. So a big fat lure. It's 45 grams. I'm going to be blasting this out and working it over the surface to see if I can entice anything. I've also got a range of Samson lures with me as well, which are going to come in handy afterwards for getting distance on there. They go up to 50 grams, so hopefully I'm going to be able to find a few fish on those. Now I've just arrived at the mark. It's a bit of a walk out here, just looking around, assessing the situation. We've got an hour and a half until low water, so I'm just going to give it a go. I'm hoping that between now and sort of the first half an hour of the flood of the tide is going to be the best time. So yeah, I hope we see a bit of action. There's a few waves breaking over the rocks there where I want to be standing, so I'm just going to give it a few minutes, take a look around the area, make sure it's all okay and all safe to stand on, and then we'll get fishing. We're getting a nice bit of distance on that. Flies out there. I'm just gonna twitch it along the surface in amongst that swell that's coming in. I can just about see it working over the surface there. That nice zigzagging motion, kicking up a nice splash. Now I will move further out in 15 or 20 minutes or so, just waiting for that tide to drop a little more so I can get onto a certain rock. I've not fished around here in quite a while, but on its day it can be really good. Come on. Oh, that was a really big splash. Really big splash. And this could be a nice bass. My God, that's going some. I've just got to get it up to the surface because loads of rocks in front of me. Oh no, don't go that way. Now, this is either a nice fish or it could be foul hooked. Now, I'm sorry I can't get much on my chest cam, but God, he's trying to shake that hook. Well, it's only not a bad one, but that certainly felt a lot bigger. Right, let's see if you can see him there. Let's guide him in. Actually, I'll get him up this way. What a start that is. There we go. I'll get you a better show in a second. Nice bass there. Got a bit of swell coming in here. But how about that? It's only 3 or 4 casts in. Lovely bass there, taking on the Patch 165, taking it distance. Now I wouldn't be reaching those distances if it wasn't for the length of that rod. Be able to throw out a nice heavy 45 gram lure. Excellent stuff. So I can tell you what, that fish gave an almighty splash. an almighty swirl by the lure. Now whether it was the same one, I don't know, but that's a nice, so I'd give that about £3, just under £3. But what a take on it, taking it distance on that Patchinko 160 or 165. So yeah, I had a hit right behind the lure, big swirl come up and a fish, and I thought, my god, that looked like a big swirl. Then it came up again, and it wasn't until the third time it actually hooked up. So whether it was the same fish, I'm not too sure. This lure at the moment is working perfectly for me, the floating surface lure. The conditions are nice and choppy. There's loads of boulders and rocks in front of me. So I'm just going to put this fish in a pool. So yeah, floating surface lure is working a lot better, because if I use a sinking surface lure, like one of the Samson ones at the present moment, when I get it in close, it's going to get snagged up, and I really don't want to lose any. So what an excellent start. I think that was 4th cast. Yeah, so really happy about that. Now I'm using obviously the Samson rod. I've got a Pen Slammer 3500 on there. I'm actually testing out some new braid as well. Now this is braid which I don't know too much about, so I won't say much about it at the moment, but it's got 20-pound breaking strain. It's supposedly very strong braid with a very high knot strength as well. So I'm using that for the first time today. I've got a 20-pound leader on there, and yeah, so far it's working a treat. So I had 4, maybe 5 casts in that first area. Since catching that fish, I've moved, I've not bothered having another cast. Now the tide's dropped a bit, so I'm able to get onto a pretty high rock here and cast out. It's in the optimum area where I want to be casting. Now we have got a bit of swell coming in. I'll try and film a little bit, breaking against the rocks, so just going to have to be careful with the camera where I put the other camera. But I'll try and get a decent angle if possible. I'm going to be doing the same thing, chucking that lure out into the surf, and yeah, hopefully we can see a few more fish come out. I've had to take my jacket off because it's absolutely baking. It's deceiving. It was pouring down with rain just before. On the drive here, it was absolutely pouring down. Now I'm boiling hot. So let's get a few more fish in. Now I know it would be much better with a head cam on, but chest cam's all I've got today. Now I'm going to stay up here a little out of the way, because we've got these waves coming in here crashing against the rocks. Swell's actually picking up a little. And you can really get out there with the combination of a longer rod, heavier lure. I know it sounds obvious, but you really notice it when you go from using a shorter, lighter rod all the time. Oh, I'm on again. Small fish. First cast in this area. This is small. How about that? First cast. It only feels like a small one. Where is he? There we go. Oh, he's trying his hardest to shake that hook. Oh, I say small, it's not too bad. Whoa. All right, mate, go in the rock pool, go in the rock pool. Oh, well, how about that? Bass number 2. Quality. There we go, just a little one. But that just goes to show, little bass will take big lures, big hooks. My first cast in the new spot, another fish. Let's get it back. So back in we go. Hopefully there's going to be a few fish about. As I said when I first got here, obviously you always have a scan about the water, see what you're dealing with, if there's any weed in the water, etc, etc. And the conditions looked near on perfect for a few bass. So I said at the start of the video I was confident of catching. I'm happy it's come so early into the session, and I'm hoping we can find a few more. Now I don't know if I've mentioned about the rod, but with working this top water lure, this rod has a very responsive tip, so it's got a sort of medium to fast action. So it's got a nice bit of stiffness in the tip where just a subtle movement with your wrists, as I'm doing, is getting that lure working nicely. Now obviously these are exactly what these rods are designed to do. If you don't know much about them, I suggest you go onto Grant Woodgate's YouTube channel and check out his videos. He catches some incredible bass out in Portugal and some really incredible huge fish all around the world, including Central America, etc. Now you could say these rods are a little overkill for UK bass fishing, or the type of bass fishing I do, and you'd have an argument in that, but there are definitely 100% positives of having a much longer rod, a heavier rod. You know, this rod could handle a lot. If you needed to lift a 4, 5, maybe even 6 pound bass out of the water, this rod's going to handle it. And it's just fun to use different gear and be prepared for different scenarios. I mean, you can see we've got a bit of chop in the water today, a nice bit of swell, but we're still only at the end of September, so we've got the brutality of winter to come yet. So on those really difficult days when it's blowing a gale, you want to do a bit of surf fishing off the beach or something like that, a rod like this that can throw out a much heavier lure, and you can hold it up high so the rod tip is way out the, you know, taking the line way out the water. It's definitely gonna come in handy for UK fishing. This is exactly what you're looking for. Nice bit of swell. You can see here the water before the last few days has been crystal clear, but we've had a patch of weather come in, strong winds. We've also got swell come in as well, so it's really stirred things up. I'm going to get that lure back out there. I'm really doing my best with the camera and the other camera behind me. I just don't want it too close to the water in case a wave comes in and takes it away. There's a few big boulders, big rocks in front of me. You just got to be careful when hooking fish, guiding them in. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. As that lure gets closer in, I just lower the rod tip. Keep twitching the tip of the rod to keep it working. You can always get a late take. So I think it's time for a change of lure, just to see if that makes a difference. So I'm going to take that Patchinko off. I'm going to go on with the 50 gram enticer. Now I've thrown this lure out a few times This is one of the Samson lures that I've not actually used that much, the enticer. Lately I've been using the shads loads. I've used the bomb and the stealth glide, the fat minnow, but the enticer is the one I've not really used the most. So I took this out the other day just to give it a few casts and see how it was, and yeah, seems like a great lure. So this is a 50 gram lure, so this is the heaviest one I've got with me today. I'm going to put this on, work it sort of medium fastish, but I'm not going to crank it, and see if that can pick anything up. If not, then I'll switch to maybe one of the 30 gram shads after and see how we get on with that. Now if you want a lure that can cast halfway to America, this is probably it. Now if you can see those rocks way out in front of me, if I fling this lure out, and I'm not blasting it like as hard as I could, I'm getting to within about 10 meters of those rocks. Now there is no way I'll be able to get anywhere near them with a lighter lure and a shorter rod. So I'm covering a lot more ground. It has gone a bit quiet over the last 25 minutes or so. So I've just put the 30 gram shad on. I'm going to throw this out. Now it has gone a bit quiet, so I'm not sure whether the fish have turned off or moved. I'm going to give it a few casts with this in this area and then decide what to do. So with a lighter lure, I'm just trying to stay in contact with it as much as possible. Kind of working its subsurface at the moment. So it's gone really quiet over the last sort of 45 minutes. I've chopped and changed lures to the shad, the enticer, put a floating surface lure back on, but really no action whatsoever. So it seems I was pretty lucky to get here when I did. As that tide's ebbing out, the fish start leaving the bay, and if you catch them at the right time, you can have some good fishing. I think I was a little late here, but usually on the low tide mark, you can find that holding area where the bass are and pick a few up, but today that wasn't the case. Now it's really good to get a few bass anyway. Super excited about that. First one on the Patch 165 and a few more to go with the Samson Longcast. So it's a few bass I've had on there now. Still searching for that big one, but hopefully one day it's going to come. So I'm going to leave the video there. I think I'm done with fishing here now. I'm going to head off. That's enough for me. So yeah, just a short video. Hopefully a few tips in there and a few. So I just had a battery die on me there, quick changeover. But as I was saying, hopefully there's a few useful bits of information in there regarding the rod. If you want any more information, just head over to Grant's YouTube channel, Grant Woodgate into YouTube, and his channel will come up. Also there's a Samson Fishing or Samson Lures channel as well, so go check them out too. So that's it from me today. I'm going to be out loads over the winter with this rod, doing fishing various venues, different kind of lures, and seeing what works and if we can find some bass. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one.